Hello and welcome, dear students. I'm Dr. Maida Mustafa Sadiq, Associate Professor of Applied Economics, and I'm delighted to guide you through Lecture 9 in our Foundation of Economics. And today we are going to concentrate on the first lesson of Principles of Macroeconomics. Today's topic is national income, one of the foundational pillars of macroeconomic analysis. In this lecture, we will explore what national income means, how it is measured, and why it matters for understanding a country's economic performance. We will discuss key concepts such as GDP, GMB, net national income, and the circular flow of income. So let us start by defining the main concepts of national income. National income, as I told you, is a key concept in economics that helps us understand the overall health of a country's economy. National income is a total monetary value of all final goods and services produced by a country's residents using their factors of production like land, labor, and capital over a specific period, usually 1 year. Think of it this way. If we add up everything produced and sold in an economy like food, clothes, machines, and services, we get an idea of the total income earned by everyone who helped produce those goods and services. The key concepts you must know. Let us break it down into simple terms using 6 key concepts. You can even think of them as building blocks of national income. Gross domestic product, GDP. This is the total market value of all final goods and services. And why do we say final goods and services? Because some of the goods and services are used to produce other goods and services. So what we mean here is to avoid the double counting. So final means ready for consumption, ready for direct consumption, or used for direct consumption. So this is the total market value of all goods and services produced within a country borders, which means that the goods and services produced within Sudan is counted in gross domestic product of Sudan. No matter who owns the resources, cities, foreigners or nationals, but it should be within a country's border. Example, a car made in Sudan by a foreign company is part of Sudan's GDP. Gross national product, GMB. Now we move from the location to ownership. GMB equal GDP plus net income from abroad. That means we add what Sudanese people earn from outside the country and subtract what foreigners earn from inside Sudan if we are talking about gross national product in Sudan. Example, if a Sudanese engineer works in the Gulf and sends money home, it adds to GMB of Sudan. Net national product, NNB. Now we consider wear and tear on machines, depreciation, buildings, and tools. This is called depreciation. NNB, or net national product, equal gross national product minus depreciation. And depreciation is the value lost as equipment gets old or outdated. National income, NI. National income is net national product at factor cost. That means we subtract indirect taxes like VAT, which the type of taxes that is imposed on sales, and add subsidies. And subsidies are money the government gives to producer as an incentive to produce more and more. So national income equal net national product minus indirect taxes plus subsidies. And this gives us the actual income earned by labor and capital, like wage, rent, interest, and profit. Personal income, PI. This is the income actually received by individuals or households before paying personal income tax. But remember, some of the income in national income is not received by people, like corporate profits or pension funds, and some is received but not earned, like government transfers or social security. So we adjust national income to get personal income. So disposable income is DI. Finally, this is the amount of money people actually have to spend or save, where disposable income equal personal income minus personal income taxes. So it is your take-home pay, what you can use for your daily needs or to save for the future. Why this important? Understanding national income helps governments to plan their budget, set economic policies, measure growth, reduce poverty, and create jobs. So it helps also you as a student to understand how the economy works and how national wealth is created and shared. Quick recap: GDP, what is produced within the country; GMB, what is earned by country's people; NMB, GMB after depreciation; NI, NMB adjusted for taxes and subsidies; PI, what people actually receive; DI, what people can spend or save. Let us come to the methods of measuring national income. Hello students again. In this slide, we are going to talk about a very important topic in economics, how we measure a country's national income. As I have mentioned in the previous slide, national income is basically the total value of all goods and services produced by a country over a certain period of time, usually 1 year. Now economists use three main methods to measure this: the income method, the expenditure method, output or product method. Let us break each of these down one by one. Let us start by income method. This method adds up all the incomes earned by people and businesses in a country. That includes wage, what workers earn; rent, income from land or property; interest, what you earn from lending money; profit, what businesses earn. So in short, national income equal wage plus rent plus interest plus profits. Example: if in a year workers earned $500 million, landlords earned $100 million, banks paid $50 million in interest, and businesses made $200 million in profit. Therefore, the total national income would be $500 million plus $100 million plus $50 million plus $200 million, which is equal to $850 million. This method focuses on who earns the income. The second method, expenditure method. Now we look at the spending side. This method adds up all the spending on final goods and services in the economy. We use this formula. GDP equal C plus I plus G plus X minus M. Let us explain each component. C is consumption, money spent by households. I, investment, money spent on business tools and machines. G, government spending, like salaries of government workers, roads building, and etc. X, exports, goods we sell to other countries. M, imports, goods we buy from other countries. X minus M is called net exports. Example, if C equal $400, I equal $200, G equal $150, X equal $100, M equal $50, then GDP equal 400 plus 200 plus 150 plus 100 minus 50 equal $800. And this method focuses on who spends the income. The third method, output or product method. This method adds up the value of all final goods and services produced in the economy. But we must be careful to avoid double counting. So we use the value added approach. GDP equal gross value of output minus intermediate consumption. So the gross value of output is the total sales of goods and services, while intermediate consumption is the value of raw materials or inputs used in production. For example, a bakery sells bread for $1,000. It used flour and other ingredients worth $300. So value added equal $1,000 minus $300 equal $700. We calculate this for all producers in the country, then add it up to get the total GDP. This method focuses on what is produced. Let us summarize that all three methods should in theory give the same result. But in practice, due to errors, data issues, or timing, they may differ slightly. Governments usually use a combination of these methods to get the most accurate picture. As a summary, now you know the three main methods to measure national income. Try to think about examples around you, like farmers' income, your family spending, or a local factory's production, and see how they fit into these methods. Now we are going to talk about a very important concept in economics, the circular flow of economic activity. So what is it? Imagine an economy as a big circle where money, goods, and services are always moving. This movement creates a cycle that keeps the economy going. That is why we call it the circular flow. So let us start with two main players, households, businesses, or firms. Households are you and me, the people who live in the economy. We provide labor to businesses. We work for them. In return, businesses pay us income, like salaries and wages. Then what do we do with that income? We spend it on goods and services, food, clothes, phones, transport. And where do we buy all that from? From the businesses, of course. So money flows from businesses to households as income, and then back to businesses as consumer spending. This is the basic circular flow. Income and expenditure go round and round. Why is this model important? Because it helps us understand how national income is created. how jobs and production are connected, and how a change in one area, like people losing jobs, can affect the whole economy. In reality, the model can include more sectors: the government, which collects taxes and provides services; the financial sector, where households save and borrow; and the foreign sector, where we trade with other countries. But at the heart of it, the circular flow model reminds us that everything in the economy is connected. So remember, households provide labor, earn income, spend money; businesses earn revenue, pay income again, and the circular continues. That is the circular flow of economic activity. Keep this cycle in your mind. It is the foundation of how an economy works. The circular flow diagram illustrates the basic economic relationship between households and firms. Households on the left represent individuals or families who provide labor services and consume goods and services. Firms on the right are businesses that produce goods and services and use labor to do so. The diagram shows a two-way flow of resources and money from households to firm. Labor services, labor services. Household provide labor work to firms. In return, firms pay households D, wage, salaries, and benefits. From firms to household, A, goods and services. Firms produce and sell goods and services to households. Household pay firms B, payment for goods and services to purchase these items. This continuous exchange forms a circular flow, showing how money and resources move between households and firms in an economy. The key components of the circular flow model. As we have mentioned, the circular flow model is a simple way to understand how money and goods move in an economy. Let us break it down for you. Household sector. This represents people like you and your families. Households provide labor, work to firms and spend money on goods and services like food, clothes, or entertainment. In return, they earn wage, salaries, and benefits from firms, which they use to buy more goods and services. Firms, these are businesses that produce goods and services. They hire labor from households and pay them wages and benefits. In exchange, firms sell their goods and services to households. In the previous diagram, you saw this flow. Households give labor services C to firms and receive wage, salaries, and benefits D. Firms provide goods and services A to households and receive payment for them B. This is back and forth movement, shows how households and firms depend on each other to keep the economy going. Let us continue in the key components of the circular flow model, the business sector. The business sector also included in the two-sector model, produces goods and services. Businesses incur production costs such as wages, materials, and overhead. By creating products, businesses generate revenue that circulates back into the economy. The government sector. In a three-sector model, the government plays a crucial role by injecting money into the economy through government spending G on programs such as infrastructure and public services. The government also collects taxes from households and businesses, impacting their consumption and investment behavior. The circular flow diagram shows how money and resources move between two main groups, households and firms, and as we have already discussed in a bigger model with the government sector, the government steps in. It spends money like on roads or schools, which adds money to the economy. It also collects taxes from households and firms, which affects how much money they have to spend or invest. This keeps the flow going out with more players involved. Think of it like a cycle. Money and resources keep moving, helping the economy to work, as I have mentioned many times. Let us add the foreign sector. The foreign sector in the four-sector model, this includes exports, X, and imports, M. Exports bring money into the economy when we sell goods abroad, acting as an injection. Imports, on the other hand, are a leakage because money leaves the economy to pay for foreign goods. The fifth sector is financial sector, the five-sector model. This adds banks and financial institutions. They help the economy by lending money and making investments, which keeps the cash flowing and supports growth. Together, these components show how money circulates, with injections like exports and lending, adding to the flow, and leakage like imports, taking some away. This helps us understand how an economy functions as a whole. The circular flow diagram also shows how money and resources move between all the fifth sectors in the economy: household and firms, government, international market or foreign sector, and financial market. Beyond this basic flow, the model also considers injections and leakages, which affect the economy overall income. Injections includes government spending G, exports X, and business investment I. And it means that it adds money to the economy, while leakages mean that it takes money out of the economy, and it includes taxes T, imports M, and savings S. When injections are greater than leakages, the national income GDP increases, boosting the economy. When leakage exceeds injections, GDP decreases, slowing the economy down. Policymakers use this balance to create strategies that keep the economy stable. The last point in today's lecture, that multiplier effect, which explains how an initial change in spending can lead to a larger increase in national income. The multiplier small k is calculated as k equal 1 divided by 1 minus marginal profits to consume. And the marginal profits to consume is the change in consumption due to change in income. So it can be calculated by change in consumption divided by change in income, and it's normally less than 1. Or K equal 1 divided by marginal propensity to save, where marginal propensity to save equal 1 minus marginal propensity to consume. Marginal propensity to save also equal the change in saving divided by the change in income. So where marginal propensity to consume is the marginal propensity to consume, MPC is the marginal propensity to consume, which is the fraction of extra income spent, and MBS is the marginal propensity to save, the fraction of extra income saved. For example, if the government spends $100 million and the marginal propensity to consume is 0.8, so the multiplier effect equal 1 divided by 1 minus 0.8 equal 5. And this means that the initial $100 million can generate a $500 million boost in the economy as the money is spent and re-spent multiple times. Thanks, my students for listening, and we will meet in the next lecture.